Hey guys, you know who it is, you know where you are, and you know what's happening. JCHATS is back, so just simply subscribe and share, and of course click that bell so you know every time I drop a new video, you're there with me. Topics may include growth, development, social issues, hey, broadcasting, even marketing for one's business. This is where we learn together. JCHATS, from interests to insights. Miss Elena Dyer has over 15 years in the local and regional ICT sector. Elena is currently the Tertiary Manager Consulting Advisor for the leading SAP partner within the Latin American region. Elena's foray into the industry started off as the lead strategic enterprise management consultant for SAP, which allowed her to travel throughout the region and Latin America. She would then go on to open the first SAP Education Delivery Partnership in the English-speaking Caribbean. This exposure led to deep insights into the local SMB market, with particular interest in the business analytics space. Elena has always had a Caribbean-centric approach to both personal and professional initiatives. Her ultimate goal is to develop a data science consultancy to service the English-speaking Caribbean. And today, inside of JCHATS, we speak to Elena Dyer, who is one of the persons behind Read to Me TT. Enjoy our chat. Hey, good day, guys, and welcome back to another edition of JCHATS. I'm JD. It is such a pleasure to be inside of your world. You know, I always say that, and I always mean it, because you've got so many other options, and you still choose to include us inside of your day, and I thank you so much for that. So, happy Sunday, whatever you're doing today. Thank you for joining us at this point in time. Now, you see this lady right here. Oh my goodness, the truth be told. Elena Dyer. Yes, Miss Elena Dyer. Yes, she has been one of those persons I've been chasing for, and I have to say chasing.
Sorry.
It's the truth. I've been chasing. She's shaking her head. Really trying to get into working together. I know time does not permit most of us as entrepreneurs. It's always a crazy schedule now instead of COVID-19 especially. So I'm just really honored and thankful that I finally got her to speak on this platform. Mind you, we have spoken before on radio. For those of you who know that I do work on I-95.5. So we spoke there in the beginning of COVID-19, the quote unquote quarantine time in March, April, somewhere there. Am I right? And now we are sitting together on my platform. This is the JCHATS, and of course we have conversation with many different persons throughout Trinidad and Tobago, from interest to insights. So you would have heard the bio I shared earlier on this young lady, and she's got still so much more to tell us. But today the spotlight is on Read to Me TT. You must have heard about it. If not, we'll find out more. So first, hi, Miss Dyer. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good day, actually.
Yes, good day. You're good. You look lovely as always.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. You too, sis.
The last time we saw each other face to face, you had dreadlocks. Do you remember that? Every 1 or 4 days?
I know.
Yeah.
Say COVID. This is my COVID look now.
So this is the post-quarantine look?
Yeah. I think I'm going to maintain it.
I like it.
Because I did this for myself.
Really?
I did not go. Yeah, I got. It was one of those
side
days.
Angles,
They just. Huh?
No.
Let's not look at the angle.
Just not too long ago, Tiffany Haddish just shaved her head as well. So it seems to be the thing these days.
It's a cabin fever. It's the time for pivoting. It's the time. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So let's talk about Read to Me TT. So this is, and I was looking at your bio on Facebook not too long ago, and he says, for as long as we're living through this process of COVID-19, the pandemic, and that sort of quarantine, lockdown life, which we aren't fully in anymore, but God knows, you never know what will happen the way COVID is going. It's so fluid. You said yourself and the entire team, I think it's Kevin you mentioned some time ago when we spoke on radio, going to continue to do what you can to read to the young ones in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, definitely.
First off, why the name and why the concept?
Well, it came to us, I'm going to be very honest with you, it came to us March 23rd, and that was just before the lockdown, because I work for a US company and I came in to Trinidad on March 18th. So I had to isolate for 14 days. And that time down was quite trying, like just mentally exhausting. And so my good friend and the co-founder, Kevin Blake Thomas, we came together one day on the 23rd, and we were like, something has to happen, because if us as adults are having such a difficult time trying to digest and really understand and come to grasp with this new pandemic, can you imagine what children are dealing with? How are they really understanding and also communicating their fears? And we just thought that a really good way to deal with this is something that we've all known and we've all had like good memories, and it's somewhat comforting, and that is bedtime stories. So sometimes it's somewhat problematic, but it's somewhat difficult for parents to find a book, sit down, read the stories to the children. So we said, okay, let's just take up that mantle for a while. And that was March 23rd. We came up with that idea. We sent out all the artwork, all the marketing and everything the same night. And then on March 26th, 3 days later, Read to Me TT started with the illustrious Mr. Peter Minshall reading, along with Mohammed from Freetown Collective. We read one of Mohammed's works, and then we also got a rendition from Mr. Minshall himself, Uncle Minch. So
you spoke about the fact that many of the young ones, the children, are stressed out too, but as adults, we don't tend to pay attention to that. So this is one of the primary reasons for creating Read to Me TT. But is it, and you just mentioned two of the big names, starting off the entire process. But when you think about some of the content that is used, because I keep looking at some of the persons that you have, and you can mention some of the names later on of who has read for you and how the process works. But let's look at the content in terms of the books. What are you looking for? What are the must-have books to read?
Well, the thing is that this pillar or this angle came up somewhat accidentally. So we knew that we were not going to be reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Moby Dick or anything like that. Within the Caribbean, we have enough storytellers, just by birth, storytellers. So we said, and we made it a very, very concrete point, that we were going to be celebrating and highlighting local and regional stories and authors. Now, because of the spread and the length of this thing, because in our heads, we're like, okay, we'll do a month of reading. Corona is going to organize itself as it usually does, and back to normal, not knowing that this is now the new normal. So we had to extend, and gladly so, we had to extend throughout the diaspora. So the authors may not be based in Trinidad or up the region. They may be in the UK with Trinidadian roots or Caribbean roots. We have a lot of folks from the US. So it has been amazing to see this catalog that we've been able to bring quite easily to the nation and to the region, right? Because some of these books, 99.99% of these books, I would have never seen or known of, right? So the first set of books we actually we went to paperback, the bookstore in Normandy, and we actually purchased books and we gave out to the readers. And then when we had the lockdown, that we can actually physically get these books, authors just came up from nowhere and was like, are you interested in an e-copy? So
it's also giving a spotlight to the authors that some of us may never have heard of, or with some of the books that they've written. So this is two pluses in terms of the young ones gaining that opportunity to connect in terms of story time, but also the authors getting those creatives getting the spotlight that they so well deserve for the hard work that they're putting into their books as well. So that's really cool. And you're saying it's not just Trinidadian based, it's up the Caribbean as well as even those that are living internationally.
And the US.
So,
but always with a Caribbean flair, like always something about inclusion, something about Kalaloo, it's always, it's
that's we can relate
amazingly
to.
written. Yeah, but we're not talking, and Peter Minshall told me once that the art of storytelling is not to speak down to a child. You know, so you could still get the story across, and it doesn't have to be so elementary, because we assume that children's minds are so elementary. They could put a lot of us to shame, you know? So we respect that, and we're
Much
excited
smarter
about
than we
moving
think.
forward. Yeah.
So, Peter mentioned, you mentioned Mohammed. Tell us about some of the other names that you have worked with so far. I see some persons that I'm familiar with, Adrian and Priya and even Bonnet, have made appearances many times. Please don't come. I see you coming to me. I see you coming to me.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. I will just roster you and send you a book.
Yes, ma'am.
The beautiful thing is that because the turnaround time had to be so quick,
right.
We came up with the idea, we put it into action, and then 3 days later we launched. Basically, we had to reach out to friends and our close networks. So this today, I believe, is a 150 something episode. Mm-hmm. So that is basically 300 readers that we've had so far. Great. I do not personally have 300 friends. So we've had Adrian and Priya. They would have come read a couple of times, yes, only because of their personality, and they probably rusted themselves. But they're always welcome. They're always a treat. Early on, we had some interesting folks. We had Russell Latapy, but nice. Again, that was within our network as well. I just thought it was a really cool juxtaposition to have Russell Latapy and his wife, Terry Ann Humphrey, read the alphabet. So like A is for, A is nice. For avocado, you know? Z is for Zabuka. So that was fun. We had, I can't even remember, it's been so many things. Wendell Man Warren, Bridget Wilson, Anya. We had Kess. Kess. But you know what is the very interesting thing with Trinidadians?
What's that?
Kess was not our biggest pull.
Who was that?
Surprisingly, the biggest pull was a young lady by the name of Corinne Clark. Okay. Her mom is Diane Clark, and Diane is a big advocate for epilepsy in Trinidad and Tobago, and also works for Luke Caribbean. And we had Corinne with Vanessa James, who is a publicist out in the US, I believe, right?
Vanessa James Media on Instagram.
Yeah. So Vanessa was there thinking that she would have to help Corinne along. No, Corinne took over the
entire reading.
She danced, she sang, she read the book, right? She did read the book, but then she's like, Auntie Vanessa, do you want to see my dance?
That's what we're talking about, personality.
Over 6,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah, so we definitely appreciate and celebrate the knowns. But we've seen just from the analytics itself, and we've seen from the analytics that the higher viewership isn't really for the knowns, isn't for the big personalities. And that comes back to the core of what it is we're really trying to do. This isn't a versus, you know, with the big
right. Yeah.
This is us as a people just coming and embracing the children of the nation. And anyone can do that. Anyone can take the time, 30 minutes, and just say it's okay. And I think that's why this is the 150th, and I'm not exhausted just yet.
But you say anyone can do this, and you know you have approached me in the past to do this, and I always say no, really, I'm really scared. I'm nervous.
I'm not even.
I know what.
When you get an email with a book, then I'll hear about you. Let me hear what you're going to say.
So what exactly is the requirement to be one of your...
You already have the voice. What are you talking about?
Generally. We're talking about generally. What so persons who are working on...
But generally, for those of you who are interested, you can literally just send me an email, send me or Kevin an email at readtomettt. That's read the number 2. TT@gmail.com, and we will send you a briefing, which basically says, thanks so much for doing this. All we require is a short bio, a picture, and your IG handle. Now, we have to be very cognizant of the audience. It's children, right? So when they send their IG handle, we will take a very quick high-level browse of their IG just to make sure that their views align with that
of children,
right?
Yes.
We haven't had any problems thus far. And so that's the first step. They send us an email telling us they're interested. I pair them up because Kevin and I, we split responsibilities so that we won't butt heads too much and that we could keep on going. So he's tech, right? And I'll do like the human side of it.
Right.
And so I would roster and I would say, okay, who would JD work really well with? Like personality-wise, just the energy. Ooh. I can't have two high energy persons. That would be exhausting, you know? So we try to balance it off a little and it seems to be working well. So all they have to do is send their bio.
This is not a basher, I'm thinking, but both Adrian and Priya are high energy persons.
No, Adrian is towing it. Adrian is, you know, Priya is, this is Priya. And Adrian is like, okay, come on. Hello, everyone. This is Adrian Dunmore. Right,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then we send the book over and we create, the night before, we create a WhatsApp group so we could send all the artwork, we send directions, I give them a script. So it's not like we're just throwing them out there, sending them a book and they figure it out. They practice together probably for 20 minutes before to see who's reading what page.
Right.
It's not heavy lifting at all. If it were, we would not have been 150 plus episodes.
No, that's pretty good though.
Yeah, so
I'll try and knock out the nerves, okay?
I'm not even.
I know, she sips tea. Yeah. So you spoke about what we need to do in terms of requirements to get into it. You spoke about some of the personalities, whether it's known or as a young woman. You just spoke about also doing amazingly well with Vanessa in that piece. So,
but I should tell you one thing. Corinne is 4 years old.
Corinne is 4?
4 years old. She's no, I had a younger one, 3 years old. And he had thousands of views as well. So yeah, it's kids and Trinidadian children. We are some beautiful people, you know, that they were reading. I can't remember if I was reading Boy and Carla like that, you know, but
very straight up to the point.
So.
Boy and Carla, yeah. And
Boy, you go and read it like this.
Yeah.
These children, it's amazing.
Adding the personalities to it.
Yeah, on top of that, bless their heart, yes.
So we know what it is in terms of getting into it, and you will mention again later on if you can how persons can jump on and finding out more. But as we know, social media is not per se for the young ones. There's an age limit, right? So how does it work with parents? Yeah. You're speaking to a parent now or a guardian. What it is that they need to do to have their young ones participate? Obviously, they log on as themselves, but you know, is it anything that they need to present to you as being part of the group?
For them to read?
Just part. If a parent wants also to bring that child in, maybe to read, but also, is it just simply for a parent? I have my child here. Let's say it's just me logging on. What's the process? And just how I do with the versus.
Literally, it is the exact. We were before Versus, so Versus probably stole our model
and copied.
But this is how it works. You see how we have two of us here on the screen. It's IG has that capability as well. Right. So it's an IG live split. So in all of our artworks, we have the two readers. Right. And we say right below their picture, we say @ and their IG handle and the other person's IG handle. So what do? You just go live. You just click on one of the readers' lives at 8 o'clock and you see the split screen. So it's
live on both persons.
IG live.
It's live on both of the person's pages, as well as Read to Me TT page.
Well, Read to Me TT pulls right afterwards. So we have a catalog of all 150 episodes on IG, on YouTube, and on Facebook.
Right. So again, one of the things that I saw on your page is as long as schools are closed, you'll be tucking in the nation's children to bed. And you're doing that virtually. We're talking about Read to Me TT. Of course, this is Elena Dyer. And what's the young man's name? Kevin Blake Thomas.
Kevin Blake Thomas.
Yes. So thank you to both of you for coming up for this concept. And also major thanks to all those that have been putting their reading abilities together and doing this for the young ones.
Yeah.
I'll be joining you guys soon. I just need to get the strength and the courage. All right. I will be doing it soon. But I'm thinking about as an NGO, sometimes, you do need, if again, the volunteers would be those reading. But what about, do you need any sort of contributions like in books or any sort of any contributions that would assist in further success for your project?
Well, the thing is, from the start of this, Kevin and I, this has been a privately founded and funded initiative. It's just the two of us, right? People think that there's a bigger team behind it. There's not. We just saw that the need was there and we just couldn't just sit back. Our biggest push or call to action at this point in time would be for authors. We could always find readers. There's always someone there who we could say, okay, we could put you in next week, Tuesday. What we really want to do is just use this platform to the greatest extent. Yeah, so we have multiple pillars and multiple core values that we're really trying to stick to. Empowerment, inclusion through education, and empowerment through representation, right? So you're hearing positivity, but also you're seeing positivity and people who look like you. So all we need at this stage are additional books. Episode 150 something, that means we have showcased 150 something books. We will prefer not to have to go back into the catalog and reuse it, But 150 days, probably kids have forgotten what the poetry, in March. So it's fine. But we still want to be able to
keep it fresh.
And just use this as a free marketing platform for them, for authors. Because trust me, JD, if you saw the list of books, you would, first of all, you would not know the majority of the authors, and you would definitely have never heard these titles before. And they're amazing books.
So then maybe this project can be the birth of some schools thinking about connecting with these authors, because we've been set to maybe the 5 books we grew up in: Animal Farm, Boy on Color, whatever was next, the West Indian Reader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now with 150 authors thus far, this is a great opportunity to those in authority to look on to things like this and connect with authors who would be so happy to have their books in schools. Why not? Well,
without saying much, because remember, our goal is to tuck the nation's children in bed so they could keep on dreaming and being children up until you all go back out to school. That is September. So all now, Kevin and I are working on our pivots. What are we going to do now? And so we will have a few announcements coming up closer to September, because definitely we saw the need, the immediate need now, but then this has really crescendoed into something a lot richer. And I think we could definitely do something that is impactful on an ongoing basis, because this model is not sustainable as is, because I am not going to get 300 persons to read when life is back to normal. Well, normal, So the time they're not going to have the time. Kids are going to have homework to do, traffic. So we're going to present it in a nice way. So we're excited about it.
Almost took whatever cat you've got in the bag out. Okay, so we'll leave it in there. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I won't touch that. You mentioned something about Tuesdays a few minutes ago. Is that the day of the readings always? What are the dates of the readings?
It's every day. We've been doing this consecutively.
7 days a week?
From 7 days a week. That's how I get 150 episodes.
That's good. Sorry, the maths didn't connect.
We took 2 days. The first one we decided to do in the midst of the external Black Lives Matter situation. We took it's more than just a situation. It's a cancer.
Yes.
But we took a step back and we did our Black Children Matter day,
Oh, nice.
where we urged parents, because yes, we understand we're doing their jobs for them for 30 minutes, you know, like, okay, we'll be reading for you all. And even though they spend time together, it's still screen time, right? So we actually asked them to step back and talk about racism, talk about inclusion, talk about privilege, that a lot of us, the fact that you could watch us on Instagram means that there is a level of privilege when it comes to the digital divide that exists predominantly in Trinidad. And the digital divide is linked highly to the class as well as race to a large extent. And I always say that the narrative is different when it comes to the US and here within the race, when we're talking about race.
Yeah.
Solely because of the history, solely because of the chronological events in their history and in our history, right? But it still exists, and it's still something that children need to be aware of. We cannot just be ostriches and say, okay, that's over there. Oh, don't study with them because I have a black friend, I have an Indian friend. You know, Trinidad is a Kalalua melting pot. No.
Say it.
No. Right? Yeah. So we took that night off, and then we took another night off when it hit home, when they had the riot. Well, when they had the riot
2 Mondays ago,
protest.
I think it was. Yeah.
We took a breather then as well, because we said parents needed to
step away from
and really bite this bullet. Yeah. And discuss. And we said, speak with, don't speak to your children. Right? And I sat here with my little cousins and one of my cousin's friends, like 10, 11, 12. And I was like, okay, so tell me what is privilege in your eyes? You know? What do you consider privilege? And they were amazed at what we all take for granted. You know? Like, oh, I can't go to the pool today because I don't have my favorite bathing suit. That sentence alone.
Because it's very much kept out of it.
Yeah, so we have, it's every night, 8 p.m. You just look out, you go first off, what do you have to do? Go to Read to Me TT on IG. Right. Go to Read to Me TT on Facebook. And at 10 o'clock or so, between 10 and 10:30, we put out the day's artwork. So you'll see what IG account you have to go and follow or just,
for later on.
And then 8 to 8:30, there's a reading.
And it's literally 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's 30 minutes max.
All right, cool. All right, so I am so glad this conversation happened.
Finally happened.
Finally, people don't know. Finally. You know, it's really just both of us being crazy busy. But thank you so much for this. And I really think this is an amazing project. I've seen one of similar to it in the US. I think Dolly Parton was doing her own some time ago. I saw that. I was like, no, those involved. I know you have some more guests coming. I shouldn't say guests, readers coming up in the future. So we'll just look forward to it. I know you don't want to touch on names, but what are the final things you want to share with us before we wrap up this conversation inside of JCHATS?
Well, just thanks again, JD. Again. You know what? The main thing is not for me to plug Read to Me. It's for us to really, as a nation, to take a step back and realize that this pandemic was not foreseen, you know? And everyone has like their own little pandemics in their life. So it's really just to be kind for Trinidadians to realize that, yes, we can't physically hug each other, but there are different ways that we can support and lift up and celebrate. And just, my main thing is just be kind. Yeah. You know, it was a journey. A lot of people, I think it's really important that we just be kind to each other, and
God knows we need that right now. God knows we need that. We do need that. So, contacts other than the Read to Me TT, how can we email you? What do we need to connect with you?
Read to me TT at gmail.com. Give us a DM at Read to Me TT. Everything is Read to Me TT.
Even Facebook. I'm looking at
Facebook. Read to Me TT. Send us a message. If you know someone who read before, they would most likely have my number. So you could reach out to anyone in the fraternity, the reading fraternity, and tell them to get on to me. And for us to even get it done.
Thank you again, and thank you to.
Thank you, love.
You're welcome, honey. I'll be soon. Soon. That's all I'll say. Soon. Thank you for those of you looking on and JCHATS. Don't forget to share and also subscribe. This is just another one of those conversations turning interest into insights. Read to Me TT. Check them out. And this is just another opportunity to care for the young ones as we all, because sometimes we think we're the only one as adults going through this pandemic. The young ones are going through it as well too, you know, so let's be there for them. Thank you so much and God bless. Yeah. Well, this is where I say thank you so much for allowing me in your world. I know you got your things to do, but you still tuned in, and I appreciate that. So don't forget, click subscribe, click the like, share, and just let all of us gather from the information that is being shared inside of JCHATS, even if it's the fun ones as well. Serious, fun, whatever it is. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Stay safe. I'm JD.